Good evening. Welcome to reading night. We are going to talk today, or have an exercise today, about character perspective. You say, well, what is character perspective? Well, character perspective, it's the way our characters view people and events in the passage. When a character has a different perspective from others around him, we need to take a pause. If you notice, the one man on the island is yelling, "Yay, boat!" He's been stuck on that island a long time. And the other man in the picture next to him here, right here, he's yelling, "Yay, land!" He's been in that boat a long time. So they see things very differently. How is this character's perspective different from others, we ask ourselves? Well, everybody doesn't see things the same way. If I were to ask you, what do you see? What do you see here? You would say to me, I see flowers. I would say, no, what do you see on this card? That's not what I see. You say, I see flowers. No, I see a star. How can you see a star? Well, it's the way I'm viewing this. Do you see a star? No, you see flowers. But if I turn the card around the way that I saw it, I see a star. Now you see a star. So the way we see things is called perspective. How I saw it and how you saw it was two different ways. What we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of paper. So have your paper ready. You can run and get a piece of paper if you don't have one. And what I'd like you to do is on the first fold, I want you to fold it, just fold it in half and then crease it. Now what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to fold it in half again, corner to corner, and put a crease in it. That's your second fold. We're going to fold it one more time. So we're going to fold it again, corner to corner, and put a crease in it. And that's your third fold. Now let's open the paper up. And we're going to now, we have 8 sections here. And now we are going to number our sections 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And in this 8th block, we can write 7 blind mice. We're going to be reading a story today about 7 blind mice. Now, what do you see? What one character sees may not be what or how someone else sees events or images, and we just proved that. You saw flowers, I saw a star. Today we're going to read a story called 7 Blind Mice. Here's your job. You are going to deconstruct or take apart the story and sketch the story from each character's perspective. And then you're going to put all the images together and see if you can get the entire picture. Now, it is a mouse story. So we have to look at it in a mouse's perspective, and they see things differently than humans do. Remember, they're really tiny. So let's pretend to be a mouse. Take off your people shoes and put on your mouse shoes. That means take off your shoes. So everybody take off your shoes and get comfortable. Think how a mouse thinks. We're going to read a story called 7 Blind Mice. So let me stop sharing here for just a moment. 7. And I want to make sure that you can see this and that you can hear it. Okay. Now I'm going to stop with each character that's introduced. Of course, there are 7 blind mice. So you'll be drawing 7 different pictures that the mice, through the mice's perspective, that the mouse sees. Okay, here we go.
Blind Mice by Ed Young. One day, 7 blind mice were surprised to find a strange something by their pond. "What is it?" they cried, and they all ran home. On Monday, Red Mouse went first to find out. "It's a pillar," he said. No one believed him.
Okay, so Red Mouse is the first mouse. This is what Red Mouse saw. He said it's a pillar. And if you've ever seen a pillar, it's usually in a big building that has big columns on it. That would be a pillar. Some of us have pillars on our front porch to hold up the front porch roof, and those are pillars. So what I'd like you to do in the first square is I'd like you to sketch out what Red Mouse saw. So in this block, I'd like you to sketch out what Red Mouse saw. Just a quick sketch. I'll do the first one with you. So I have my first square I'm working on. It's labeled number 1. I am going to sketch out really quickly what Red Mouse saw. A pillar. So I sketched it out. That's what I drew. Kind of looks like a nose. All right, so let's see what the second mouse sees. Remember, we're talking about perspective and how characters see things. Mouse number 2.
On Tuesday, Green Mouse set out. He was the second to go. "It's a snake," he said.
Okay, so Green Mouse, Mouse 2, says it's a snake. I'm going to draw how Green Mouse sees things. So I'm going to draw in my block number 2 how Green Mouse sees things. So in my block 2, I drew what Green Mouse saw. Now remember, we're trying to figure out if we can figure out what they're all looking at, okay? Their perspective. What are they looking at? Can you guess?
He said. "No," said Yellow Mouse on Wednesday. "It's a spear." He was the third in turn.
So mouse number 3, I'm going to go to my third box, and I'm going to draw what mouse number 3 sees. You should be drawing too. So mouse number 3 sees a spear. Here's a spear. So I have a pillar, a snake, and a spear. Let me fix that. I don't like the way that looks. Let's see. Okay. Now we're looking at mouse number 4. Do you think you know what they see?
The fourth was Purple Mouse. He went on Thursday.
You see Purple Mouse up there?
"It's a great cliff," he said.
Oh. So mouse number 4 sees a great cliff. Can you draw what you think mouse 4 sees? I drew it. I'll give you just a few seconds to do that. Mine doesn't look quite like that one, but it's okay. Okay, here we go. Let's look at mouse 5.
Orange Mouse went on Friday, the 5th to go. It's a fan, he cried. I felt it move.
Oh, he felt it move. A fan. So let's draw what we think he sees. I drew mine, and I'm looking at all the parts and trying to think, what do they see? They all see something a little differently. You ready for mouse 6? Here we go. Has anybody guessed yet what they see?
The 6th to go was Blue Mouse.
Here he is.
He went on Saturday and said, It's nothing but a rope.
Oh, so they all see quite a few different things here. I wonder if they're all looking at the same thing, I ask myself. So I'm going to draw what Blue Mouse sees. Can you draw what Blue Mouse sees in box 6? Have you figured out what they've seen? What they've seen yet? Have you figured it out yet?
But the others didn't agree. They began to argue. A snake, a rope, a fan, a cliff.
So these are all different perspectives. One saw a snake, one saw a rope, one saw a fan, one saw a cliff,
Until on Sunday, when White Mouse, the 7th mouse, went to the pond. When she came upon the something, she ran up one side and she ran down the other. She ran across the top and from end to end.
Do you think you know what White Mouse sees? I wonder what White Mouse is going to describe the 7th mouse. This is the 7th mouse.
Ah, said White Mouse. Now I see. The something is as sturdy as a pillar, supple as a snake, wide as a cliff, sharp as a spear, breezy as a fan, stringy as a rope, but altogether, the something is.
Okay, I'm going to have you stop right there. In box 7, I want you to draw what you think it is. What do you think White Mouse, the 7th mouse, is going to say? What do you think he's going to say? So I'm going to draw what I think. So what did you come up with? Let's see. Now I drew mine. Did you draw yours?
An elephant. And when the other mice ran up one side and down the other, across the something from end to end, they agreed. Now they saw too. The mouse moral. Knowing in part may make a fine tale, but wisdom comes from seeing the whole. So
looking as perspective is concerned, looking at the whole picture instead of parts of the picture, knowing the whole story instead of parts of a story so that you can see perspective. Everyone sees perspective differently. Did you draw what you thought it was? And I drew my elephant because putting it all together and looking at the whole picture, that's what they saw. Nice job, guys. Very nice. All right. So we talked about perspective. We talked about how characters see things through events in the passage, from actions in the passage from characters, and everybody sees things differently in life. But we know what character perspective is, how the character sees that, how the character sees things that happen in the story. So let me go back to our PowerPoint because now you are reading Super Chef. Now you're going to be a super chef. So what I'm going to do is I am going to give you a website so that you can be a super chef. You're going to build your own hamburger. You're going to cook it and you're going to make toppings for it. Okay? So let me go ahead and put this in the chat. And I'll go ahead and share this with you so that you can spend some time being a super chef yourself. So if you will just write that down exactly the way it looks, you can go in and you can be a super chef too. I hope you enjoyed looking at character perspective today. I enjoyed spending time with you today. Have a good evening and enjoy your reading night. Bye-bye.